Welcome to this week's episode of the In the Bank podcast, featuring your two handsome hosts, myself again, Jackson, and also Jackson's there. Jackson, how are you doing today, bro?
I am slightly less handsome than you are, and but I am very happy with myself, Dick. But listen, here's a new thing that you haven't heard about with me today. So you know how I love like internet products?
I did not know that.
Like
so
I have like a Ridge wallet.
Okay.
I have like a Ridge wallet. I have like one of those Theraguns. Like anything that has an ad on a podcast, I probably have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used Cash App for a while, but then no one else was using it, so like I stopped doing that. I'm back on Venmo, but so there's this guy, and he's a complete hippie, and he keep giving me ads for this thing called Zoo-Poo, and it's a cleanse that you do, and it just cleans out your asshole. And I have, over the last 3 days, pooped about 12 times, and I'm terrified. So that's what's new with me. Other than that, life's the same as it's usually been, you know, but I'm so that's what's new with me. How about you?
Nothing that crazy. That's disgusting. What is it? Is it like Indian food, or is it like a what's those shitting pills or the shitting drink called that people like mix in? Laxative? Is it just laxative?
Laxative? Yeah. So it's like it's actually probably, there's like a lot of like natural ingredients, and it's just like you got like a bunch of roots in there and like spicy shit, and you take it in a little capsule, and it's like you take 2 pills before you go to bed, and then you wake up in the morning and immediately you have to rip one, like as first thing is when you wake up, because usually I like have to, you know, warm up a little bit. It takes like a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like I'll like get to the office and then be ready to go, sort of deal.
Uh-huh.
Now it's like as soon as I get out of bed, like all I can think about is letting that thing out of there. And then after that, it's like right around before lunchtime I get one. And then there's another like mini one after lunch, like to like really clear it out. And then there's one before bed too. And that's my schedule now. So it's like, it's very intensive. And also it's like, it's always very present. So like you can't trust your farts like you used to. Cause I had a teacher in high school, Mr. Cordova, great guy. He would always just walk by you and say, never trust a fart. And I went through my life not really taking his advice. Like I was like, you know what, I'm a savage. I can trust my farts. I don't, you know, fucking fuck you, dude. And now I understand what he was talking about. Like I don't want to get into the details or anything, but I'm on a thin razor's edge right now with that stuff. So
Where has the worst place been where you have ripped a shart before?
A shart in my own car.
All right, but that's not bad. Was there anybody else in the car with you?
No, so this is a good story though. So this was when I was high school, and I was on my rowing team, right? And we were packing up to go to a race. And so in rowing, you have to transport your boat to the race. And we were racing in California from Arizona. Mm-hmm. So you take apart your boat, put it on a trailer, and then the trailer gets driven to where you're going, and then you put the boat back together when you get there. So we had the day where we took apart the trailer and everything, and I wasn't feeling good. I was like kind of like feverish, but it was the last race of the year, so I was like, I'm just going to tough it out and go. It was the last race of my high school career, actually. It was my senior year. And so I was really not feeling well, putting the boats together, and I was like, Coach, I got to leave early. I got to get some sleep before we leave tomorrow. And he's like, get out of here, go home. And so I'm in my car, and I'm like 3 minutes away. I've like been in the car for like 3 minutes. I'm at a stoplight, and I really got to fart. And I fart, and it poops, and and because I'm sick and I'm in a bad mood, I freak out. Like I have a mental breakdown in my car, sitting in my own shit. I'm like, you know, and I'm like kind of hovering and also trying to drive, which is hard to do. And I'm like, and I've got the sweats, I've got a fever, and I'm sitting in my own shit. And I call my mom on the speakerphone, And so I'm having a speakerphone call with my mom in the car. And I'm like, Mom, I just shit my pants in the car. I don't know what to do. Home is like 20 minutes away. I don't know if I'm going to make it. And she has to be like, all right, calm down. Like, how much shit is there? Is there, you know what I mean? So that was probably the worst time I ever pooped my pants.
Damn, and you
At least
said
that
you
I
were
remember.
and you said you were 18 when this happened, like 18, 17?
I was 18. I shit my pants. Yeah.
So that was like the last time you ever had like an accident, like while you were like even like pissing your pants, like that was like the last time ever.
I think so. Like, unless you count like when you're in the urinal and you don't give it enough shakes and it like kind of leaks out when you put your pants back on. Like, if you don't count that, that's definitely the last accident. But I do that shit like once a week. So like, I probably did that a few days ago where I didn't shake enough.
Oh,
just get
dude,
a
yeah.
rash and-
Dude, yeah. I mean, I give myself a fucking hand job at the thing damn near to make sure there's no drops left. I don't know. The last time for me, bro, I was in 8th grade and I used to walk home from school, and it was about like a 25-minute walk. No, 8th grade. Yes, it was 8th grade, 8th or 7th grade actually. All right, let's just say. So I was in 7th grade, and I used to walk home from school. It was about like a 25-minute walk. And I had to pee really bad the whole entire time, right? But the problem with my walk was I used to walk through all the residential areas, so there was like no way I could just like hide in a corner and piss. Someone would have called the cops on me. I was in that type of city. They would have booked, right? And then
Right.
in my childhood home, when you would enter the neighborhood, there was like a bunch of bushes, like in this little patch, in this little grass patch, and I was about to go there. But the problem was I saw like 4 rabbits and I got really scared. And from that point to my house, that's like another like 7-8 minutes. And I just started sprinting home, right? I was like walking, like doing like you know, like the little catwalk the whole way, like tucking it in, right? And I started sprinting home. And I started grabbing it, like just praying it. And dude, I just right when I was like, there used to be like a little hill, and right when I was running down the hill, bro, I tripped. I just pissed my shorts, bro. Thank God it was like I was like right outside my house though. I just pissed all in my shorts. And nice. I remember I didn't like cry, but dude, I was just devastated in myself. Like I was just ashamed to be like it was tough to look in the mirror that day, dude. But luckily nobody saw, right? But yeah, I just threw the shorts away too. Like I didn't want to like have to look. But I don't know why. I had a lot of like self-embarrassment in that moment, even though nobody saw, right? And
a lot of shame.
Yeah, and like I can go through embarrassing things, but like this with no one around me, it was just such a shameful thing. It's like drinking by yourself, you know what I mean? It's like it's just like it's just like why? Right, but yeah.
Was it at least like cold out? You could warm yourself up a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was like a foggy day. I mean, it was California, so it was just like one of those like 60-degree, like Novembers. I was wearing shorts and a jacket type weather. But yeah, dude, it was. Yeah, I feel like shit like talking about. I don't know what it is about that day specifically. I think like my manhood really got tested, but yeah, I mean, I haven't peed or sharted. Like I right now, I have pretty good control of my farts. Like I can sense once it's shart. Like I can like kind of suck it back up into the stomach, right? Like my anus is really like that. No homo. So
that's good. That's a good place to be. Like you don't want to be where I'm at right now, where it's like because it's a level of. Because I'd say I'm like naturally kind of an anxious person, and if I have another level of anxiousness about what's a fart and what's not, like if I can't trust myself there, it's very it's shaking in your core. Like you don't know who you are, like everything you thought you believed, you're starting to question, and so that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm figuring out how to deal with it. It's not all doom and gloom, but it's definitely an adjustment process for me. So I think it's about like 2 weeks of that. So I'm like 3 days into that.
Dude,
so it'll be fun.
If you're taking 3 shits a day right now because of this medication, you're shitting out like blood at this point. You don't have that much food in your stomach. Considering you...
Well, so what the guy says is that everybody in the world has 12 pounds of toxic poop inside them, and this is what clears you out.
This guy's a scam artist. That's what he is, bro.
Probably. I got sold TB12 method is what just happened.
Yeah, we're away. And you say there's some hippie guy that you used to watch that would promote this dog shit?
Not even watch, it'd just be like an ad on some show. You know what I mean? I think I saw it on. I don't want to say the show if I'm wrong. It was either like this past weekend or something like that. It was one of those. And I would just keep getting it, and I'd be like, "Huh, maybe I should do a cleanse." Because I'm always trying to like just do dumb shit like that to like I'm seriously considering doing that Aaron Rodgers like 3-day darkness retreat. Like I'm always like trying to figure out like something I can do for like, you know what I mean? This is how I am,
dude. This is white. That's just white trash shit. That's white trash activity, bro.
It is. It's super white for sure. I don't know if it's white trash though, because like white trash is like, as a white guy, I feel white trash is kind of different, or maybe it's like California white trash, because like where I grew up here, like white trash is like kind of right, you know. It's like right of center. So like white trash is like, you know, you're fucking your cousin, and you know you got 75 guns, and you got like, you know, don't tread on me stickers on your F-150, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I think of as white trash, but in California maybe it's like a left, like a hippie sort of white trash. So it's kind of like that, yeah. I'm embracing my inner hippie a little bit.
Yeah, how serious are you right now about actually going on that darkness retreat?
I am pretty serious. I think because I looked it up and it's not, because I thought cost would be a barrier for me, just because it's something Aaron Rodgers does and he makes a gazillion dollars.
That's the go.
But it's not crazy. But it's in Oregon, the place that he did it. So it'd have to be like the flight would be a lot more expensive than actually doing it. So I'd have to figure that out. And then if I do it, it's probably going to be in like January, like right after Christmas, I would assume, because I'm doing the marathon and then Christmas happens right after that. And then I feel like New Year is kind of a good time to do some of that kind of, you know, self-reflection.
Find yourself.
All that white shit, you know what I mean? Exactly.
Go find yourself in the new.
Well, you guys know, like, you got to align your chakras and everything, right? Isn't that like your kind of deal too?
Dude, I don't believe in none of that fucking bullshit. My dad, he believes in all of that like pseudoscience and astrology type of shit. And I've always told them, I'm like, dude, you're a moron. Like when I don't know if I told you this. So do you remember during the pandemic, Rudy Gobert pretty much caused the whole entire country to shut down?
Yeah.
You remember that, right? So,
right.
So prior to Rudy Gobert getting COVID, my mom, remember, so for context, my mom normally stays in Vietnam, right? Once I graduated college, she stayed in Vietnam. And when I was in school, right, when I was not back home for summer break, she was in Vietnam as well. When she would come to the United States, she would stop in China, right? And she had a connecting flight in China. And when she came to the United States, she picked me up. And I remember she had a cough, and she coughed on me in a Popeye's parking lot. And I told her, yo, cover your mouth. Like, you know where you just came from. I know the odds are really low. And then it turned out my mom got COVID before. This was like January. Like, this was super early in the process. Like, I thought I was going to die type shit. My mom got COVID, and she was out. And there were so few cases in the United States at this point. My mom had to give up like an arm and a leg, and like had to go through a million different steps to get a test, right? I was not eligible to get it. I was not eligible to get a test, but I got sick 2 weeks later, right? And I was chilling in I was chilling in my room. I was sick as fuck, and I thought I was gonna die. I didn't cry or anything. I was like, yo, I might, because like this was you know how the mainstream media news is, and this is the only place talking about COVID at this point. So my dad, who believes in all this hippy dippy shit, comes up to me. He's like, Rohan, you gotta take this medicine. And I'm like, what is this? And it's like these little white like tablets that taste like fucking sugar. What's the name for it?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's like a
Is
certain
it
type of medicine.
emergency?
No, no, it's like a certain type of medicine.
Okay.
Uh, Hold on, let me find it. Or whatever. It's like I'll put it. I'll put the text on the screen here. I'll
Yeah.
find it and I'll edit it. I'll put. But once again, it's like pseudoscience medicine, and like the way it's like derived is like they keep like diluting like a plant or some shit like that, and they just like keep on diluting that shit, and then they like put it with sugar. It's horseshit, right? It like doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of garbage. And my mom was like, Rohan, if dad gives you all that stupid shit, put it under your tongue and spit it out in the toilet. All right? Because because my dad would want to watch me take it, and he would be like, "You're feeling better now, right?" I'm like, "I haven't even swallowed yet." Right? So,
Right.
so I did that, and I got, and obviously like fucking COVID. Or I'm not gonna actually say it, but obviously we know what COVID really is, right? And like my dad, I was talking about it with my dad like 6-7 months later. He's like, that medicine I gave you, that's the reason you guys beat it, and your immunity is super strong right now. And I told him like, yo, I didn't take it. I would put it in my mouth and spit it out. He's like, yeah, but even you putting it in your mouth was, I was like, all right, but but so that's the only like weird pseudoscience thing. And my dad's really big into astrology. Like he has his own little side hustle
Interesting.
where he like reads
Okay.
charts and stuff like that. I've never done it. I'm never gonna ask him to read my thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my mom is also into that too. I think it's all horseshit. Um, yeah, there's actually probably videos of my dad you can find online of him like predicting presidential races and him being wrong uh, from reading charts. I'll find it. I'll send it to you actually. But yeah, it's I've never. I've never believed in none of that nonsense. I think it's
Yeah.
stupid. Like I think like the chiropractor could sometimes be a scam too. Like I'm really now I'm not now. I didn't take the COVID shot. Let's make that clear. I'm not that far into Western medicine. I didn't take the vaccine, but
Yeah.
I don't believe in like this weird alternative science where I have a bunch of weird stories where I'm just like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Yeah. I like. So I'm not. I don't believe in that stuff, but I kind of do. Like I think like so if you get some guy and he sits there and he like meditates and and his like focus is like trying to open his chakras or whatever, right? I don't think he's actually opening his chakras. Like I don't think that's real, but I think like the intention of like I'm going to relax and open up a little bit is good for you, and then also practicing like that focus I think is good for
Yeah.
like your brain. So I think that's kind of like how I feel about it, like sort of meet in the middle. You know what's interesting though is like with the Western medicine people, up until recently, like with the COVID stuff, but like before that, they were never like very aggressive about trying to make people think it works. And then
Yeah.
all like the alternative stuff, they're like you're saying about your dad, like as soon as you take that stuff, they're like, how do you feel? Is it working? You're feeling great, right? Or like a chiropractor is the same way. Like they like snap you up, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, you feel so great, don't you? Like don't you feel awesome? Like, isn't this great? Doesn't this work? It's like you can feel the insecurity of the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so even prior to like the whole COVID thing, like I knew what like the what was it called, like the opioid crisis, right? With like painkillers, and I played football. I broke a bunch of bones. I still have tendonitis in my elbow. I have a fucked up shoulder, bad neck. Like I have all that. I get massages all the time. I'm actually gonna go get a massage later today. That's a different story. But like even when I broke my arm like literally snapped in half. I'll put the picture up here, right? The bone snapped. It was completely swollen. If I felt like it was so bad for my first 2 weeks, if I felt like a little anxious, right, and my body would like quiver
Yeah.
a little bit, my arm would go into spasm, right?
Really?
So they prescribed me obviously crazy painkillers, right? Very high dosage painkillers. And then they also prescribed me like an anxiety thing. I don't know if it was Xanax or not. I don't remember. But they prescribed me something for anxiety, so I just stay calm. Because if I tense up a little bit and my arm starts spazzing, it's
Yeah.
pain, and they need they need the bone to be as stable as possible, right? I was in a cast and a sling. That's how bad this break was, right? Like they needed the cast and then And I remember, so I told my mom, I'm like, I'm not taking the painkillers. I'll deal with the pain. Let me just take Tylenol, right? Just, I know it probably won't do shit. Let me just take it. I did it, but I did take one day. I did take one of the anxiety things, and dude, shout out Donald. I walked back home with him, and I I texted him the next day. I'm like, dude, what the hell happened yesterday? He's like, bro, we just walked home and we just took a longer route. And I was like, dude, I don't remember it. All I remember from that day is taking a pill in the
Yeah,
bathroom before English class, and I don't remember shit from that day. I
that's
came
crazy.
I came to school late, right? We had PE fifth period. I had English sixth period. I took in between the walk. I went to the bathroom. I took the anxiety thing. It was like my first or second day, kind of in the surgery, finally going back to school. Dude, I threw all those pills away, and I, obviously healthcare in the United States, it's for profit. That's why they still prescribe Vicodin like fucking Skittles, right? But it's I don't. I'm very like I'll do my own research, right? And I'm very I don't know. I can't trust the healthcare in the country if I know if I know that there's an opioid crisis and people are okay with it, you know, and if like insurance is like for profit and stuff like that. But that's you know, that's where we're at.
Yeah, well that it might be. Well, this is for sleep, but you know what Ambien is?
No.
So it's like people take it for sleep, and it's like there's apparently a ton of people on Ambien, but what it does to a lot of people is like they'll take it and go to sleep and then like wake up and like so there's a story of a lady who's on Ambien, and she woke up and she went down into her kitchen, and someone had prepared like a completely like a Thanksgiving dinner, like with a turkey and mashed potatoes and all that shit. And so she freaked out and called the cops because she like lived alone. And the cops came and they were like, well, no one breaks into someone's house and makes Thanksgiving dinner and just leaves it out. So they were like, what the fuck is going on here? And they found out like she was taking Ambien, and it makes you like black out when you sleep and you like wake up and do stuff. And then Roseanne Barr, who's the lady from the Theo Vaughn podcast that got taken down, she like a few years ago, she's a comedian, so she had some tweets that were like some people thought were extremely racist. I don't remember what they were, but she blamed it on Ambien. She was like, I was on Ambien, so I tweeted this shit. And I don't know if she was or not, but like it's a real thing that happens to people where they do shit on Ambien and they don't remember it, and it's like they completely black out and like lose time or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like all that stuff is tricky. I think there's also a story of like somebody murdering their wife and like waking up and not knowing what the hell happened, and it could have been
Really?
like that. Yeah, I remember reading about it. A guy like in his sleep like ended up murdering his wife, and when he woke up, he didn't know what happened. I don't know if it's related that to that drug specifically, but like that's like the extremes of Western medicine of like shit you just don't want to take or put in your body because you know it's designed to be addictive. The people behind it are all scumbags, right? And then there's like there are chiropractors that are great,
Yeah.
but there are also some that are complete hocus pocus. Like right when I pinched, actually I have a funny story. So my sophomore year of college, so I've been battling with a neck and nerve thing for the past like 4 years now, right? And it's finally getting to a better point. When it just happened, so what happened was I pinched a nerve, the thoracic outlet syndrome. It's the same thing Markel Fultz had in his shoulder, right?
Interesting.
So I went to a chiropractor, right? Because like, dude, it was just so painful, and I didn't have a car my sophomore year of college, so I had to just find somewhere I could walk. And I went to this place, and I told him, yo, my shoulder and my neck are just fucking killing me, right? I can't sleep right now. I told him, like, hey, I was lifting a lot at this point in my life, and the injury happened because I was only doing chest and shoulder and not my back. But I told him, like, hey, I pinched, I don't know what's up. And this is what this guy does. He puts yellow sunglasses on me, and it's like a cowbell, and he's like, I want you to, like, tell me what you feel when you hear the vibrations, if you feel sad or happy. And he just starts hitting it, right? And he just keeps hitting this shit. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to be rude, right? And then, without, like, saying anything, he's like, yeah, dude, it might be a heart problem. I'm like, dude, what? I'm like,
So
what?
he's like a real life WebMD, just freaking you out.
Yeah, he's a real life woman. Yeah, he's like, it's a heart problem. And then he, like, explained to me, he's like, listen, you know, our ancestors, they used to get, like, the hearts of the animals they would hunt, but we don't do that anymore. So here's so you should buy these pills, which, like, contain all those vitamins from the heart. And then he's like, you're going to come back next week. I was like, my friend's coming into town and stuff. He's like, your friend could come watch too. And I was like, dude, I'm not coming back. Like, I just told him, I was like, bro, I was like, let me not lie to you anymore. Like, just don't text me anymore. I'm not coming back. Dude, and, like, like I said, there's great chiropractors, right? But they're more so kind of acting like physical therapists in a sense with the massage gun, and they're stretching you out. And then they do the crack, you like that, like, you know what I mean? They do that too. But this guy, man, Tempe, Arizona.
It sounds like he's fucking
he's on
Liver
Mill Avenue.
King's chiropractor, dude.
Yeah, he is Liver King's chiropractor. He's on Mill Avenue if anyone's interested. Yeah. What happened to Liver King, bro?
He confessed to doing steroids finally. Well, he didn't confess. That More Plates, More Dates guy or someone found, like, evidence, and then More Plates, More Dates, like, made it public. But he was emailing his people back and forth about how much, you know, he was on, like, Tren and a couple other things. And then he had to come out and be like, I was lying to you, but I'm not on steroids anymore. Haha. Like, and I don't know. That was always going to be kind of like a drop of the, like, Liver King wasn't here to, like, stay. You know what I mean?
Dude, are we fucking serious? What the fuck is wrong with this country, dude? That's what canceled this guy. A dude who was obviously on fucking like, you had to be a batshit retarded to not see that this guy was on steroids. You had to be batshit stupid to not notice, like, hey, this fucking big guy who only eats, like, fucking raw liver and dog shit isn't on steroids. Are we serious? Are we fucking?
Well, he's
Are we
he's
serious?
a weird guy too. Like, he's got. I feel bad for his kids, like, because he's got, his wife is now the liver queen, and she's, like, doing a whole fucking thing. And he's got, like, the liver kids, and they've all got their own little Instagrams, and they're all, like, doing this fucking thing. And now his kids, like you don't choose who your parents are, you know what I mean? And so, like, they just pulled the weird card of, like, my dad's a fucking psycho who's trying to make money off a bunch of dipshits who want to live by the 9 ancestral tenets or whatever. So, and they're just gonna be fucked. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
they're either gonna be weird like him or just hate their family. But anyway, what are you saying?
I was just saying, it's going to be interesting to see, like, with all these social media thoughts and all these weird social media characters, like, how their kids grow up. Like, that's going to be a case study. Like, Adam 22's kid, like, I feel really bad for their daughter. If you don't know who Adam 22 is, I think we talked about it. He let his wife fuck another guy on camera. But what was I gonna say? Have you ever? Let's actually go back to the Liver King thing. Have you ever ate raw meat before, or like ate, like, liver or, like, any, like, that weird shit? Like, I've had raw beef before. Like, I've had raw steak. Like, I'll, like, lightly sear it, but it's, like, very thin strips. Like, I'm not gonna eat a whole raw fucking steak, you know?
I don't think I have. Like, I'm thinking of, like, I've gone to, like, Korean barbecue, but you cook that up. You just get it raw. Sushi is technically raw fish. That's probably the closest thing I've had to, like, raw food. That's one of the fads I have not jumped in on.
Yeah, try beef tartare. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had raw eggs. Like, I've had raw egg yolk, and then I'll have Now, if you're gonna have
Okay.
raw eggs, you have to get like the egg whites, and then when you go to like Safeway in the carton, because it's good to have it raw, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like great or bad, but it's just a quick like if you just want to drink it, right? I mean, eggs
Interesting.
taste way better cooked. But no, the reason I'm asking is because I've kind of been transitioning to like more so like a really heavy like meat like diet. I'm trying to like stay away from like chicken nuggets and stuff like that. I like deep fried chicken and
Nice.
like like that's my diet used to consist of like chicken tenders, like ready make Caesar salads and
Let's
uh
go.
and hot Cheetos. Right, so I've been eating like steaks and like salmon and stuff. And
Yep.
like honest, so like, I'm not gonna have liver because I know liver tastes kind of gross. Like I
Okay.
think liver tastes nasty. Have you ever eaten any like exotic meats though? Like anything like that?
Um, Not really. I mean, I'm trying to think. I've had snake before.
Hmm.
That's probably the craziest thing, I've had a lot of seafood. I got maybe some weird seafood here or there somewhere. Probably the weirdest thing I've eaten is snake though.
Wait, what were you eating with? Like with just plain? Is it like a little sample, or was it like
It
a
was
regular
like
thing?
it was out here and it was like one of those school trips. I was a kid.
Mm.
It was like a field trip we took to some desert place or whatever, and it was like supposed. It was weird now thinking about it because it was supposed to be like a wildlife like preservation thing, but then they were like serving kids fucking grilled snake. So I don't fucking know where we were actually. It's fucking. I've never thought about it until now, but that's weird as shit. But that's how we do shit out in Arizona. We fucking eat our endangered species. But it tastes. I remember like we were all kind of. I think they like grilled it really nice, and they probably put like some stuff on it, to make it taste good. So it was like I don't know. It was like fried chicken or something. I remember we were all like, "Oh, I want more of that," and they were like, "Fucking, let's go kill some more snakes."
Yeah, well, I've had alligator before in tacos.
Mm.
When we get the in-person studio, let's like get some really weird fucking meat and eat it. Have you seen like Rogan talk about like eating bear, like the people who eat bear on like on his
Yeah,
podcast and stuff?
yeah. He talks about all that shit. Bear, elk.
Yeah. Well, elk isn't bad, but so bears are like disgusting. So like,
Okay.
like bears will eat anything, right? A polar bear specifically will eat anything. Like
Yes. Yep.
a polar bear will kill you. I am happy. That's the thing. People are like, save the polar bears, dude. Fuck the polar bears. Like they will kill you. They are vicious animals. Um, they have food, right?
Hmm.
They just fucking suck at hunting. Um, and they're just in a place where there's no like
Yeah. Well,
plants and stuff. They're only carnivores.
they're
So
great. They're great fucking hunters. It's just there's not a lot of food up there.
yeah, okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah, I said they suck
Yeah.
at hunting.
They're savages.
Yeah, I mean, Have you seen like the videos of the polar bears and like the seals, or what's it, like the walruses? Like
Hmm.
when the walruses are all in the herd, and then they're like trying to like snag like the little baby walrus out of it.
Hmm.
Those were wild, but
Hmm.
yeah, I've stated I lived in India. When I lived in India, I stayed at a resort, and they had black bears. Um, at night, they told you to lock your door and lock your windows because
Yeah.
the black bears would like go out. And I remember opening my window and seeing a black bear peeking, trying to look for through the thing. Now it wasn't vicious. It didn't like attack me. It didn't. I don't
Yeah.
think it really saw me. Right. I just kind of opened and I saw it. It was like its nose was on the thing, and I saw it on video that morning because they would set up cameras around the campsite, and they would like show us like, and they're like, hey, you guys had it. But it was really interesting because they were like, they weren't eating garbage. They were like eating shit like a bunch of like plants, and they had like berries and like peanut butter. They would like set up like little things through the camp, right?
Hmm.
Um, but they told me that those bears aren't aggressive compared to
The black bears aren't aggressive.
well, they said they've never had an incident where they've been very aggressive with a person.
Do they steal your food?
I don't know. I don't know that, but they just said like as long as you don't like fucking like try to attack them or like if they have like a cub, don't fucking go after their cub or something like that. I didn't see that, right? I don't know if they had a cub or not, but the those ones are interesting, bro. I mean, even nature as a
Do
whole.
do the Crip black bears fight the blood black bears, or are they pretty peaceful?
Well, so it just like in the LA scene, it's only the Mexicans and the blacks that are like beefing. So the brown bears and the black bears
Okay.
fight each other.
So it's more brown black. It's brown on black crime. There's not as much black on black crime.
No, not there. No. So
That's good. That's progress.
yeah, no, it's 100% progress, dude. I mean, it's kind of sad that we don't have nature in Arizona or like in just the United States in general because we keep fucking destroying everything. And like if you go to Africa and you like go like on a safari or even go to some parts of India and like seeing like the way like lions and monkeys and like how they like create their world, right? And how they hunt for food and stuff. It's really interesting stuff. Right, and you go to like the fucking San Diego Zoo, and there's some jackass making $15 an hour, like throwing peanuts at a fucking tiger, right? Like it's the zoo is kind of an evil industry in the United States, man. Really is.
The zoo's fucked. I think so because I've done a safari in Africa, and that was like fantastic. I wanted to see something that could kill me, and I don't think we did actually, which was kind of a bummer. But we saw a bunch of other cool stuff. But I think and I've also been in Australia, and when I was there, we were super excited to see kangaroos.
Yeah.
Right. But we know a guy from Australia, Demi, shout out. But when I talked to him about kangaroos, he's like, dude, they're fucking rats out here. Like, fuck those things. You know what I mean? And then so like me growing up here, I was always like, man, these. Like I don't like the desert landscape. Like I'm tired of it. I've known it my whole life or whatever. But then like people who move here, sometimes they'll talk about how like beautiful the desert is. They'll like freak out about the cactus. Like look at this saguaro cactus. It's like they're fucking. Why are you freaking out? They're fucking everywhere. But they've never seen it before, and so it's like I don't know. It's like when I went to live in California and we would like go to Yosemite. I was blown away by how beautiful it was. But like everyone who had sort of lived in that area was like, yeah, it's just Yosemite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Yosemite's beautiful. I love Yosemite. It was actually funny. I went to Thailand, and this was the most unethical way of treating an animal I've ever seen. I went to Thailand with my mom. And there was like this tiger exhibit. I had a full-grown tiger lay on my lap, right? And I'll find the picture. I'll send it to you. My mom has it. I'll actually send it to you, and I'll put it up here. I was in 8th grade. I had a full-blown tiger just lay on my lap, and I was scared it was going to bite me. And then my mom was like, they drug these things so badly that, they won't. That was really sad. Obviously, that something like that in the United States won't fly just because of, environmental laws and stuff. But in Thailand they had tigers, and I mean it's the same thing as a zoo, bro. Like you gotta let animals like this just stay there. I think safaris are fine because they don't disturb the ecosystem as much as something like a zoo does, or but
yeah, you go to them
and you're safe. You're in a caged car, right? But listen, I'm not a fan of the people who like sit there and block traffic because fucking Ford is like going to go mine for oil right in the Middle East, right? I'm not a fan of those people. I love watching them get sprayed down with hoses. That's what I do at work half of the day, right? But like people who go to the zoo, like people who like create zoos and shit like that, they're like kind of fucking weirdos. Like when you get animals out of their natural habitat and you put them somewhere they're not supposed to be, they're like Pablo Escobar created a big hippo problem because he created a fucking zoo in his home, and now there's a bunch of hippos in Colombia, because when he obviously died, they just escaped and they have to kill them. So it's
Yeah.
shit like that.
So I know we're coming up on time here, pretty close. We got a hard stop here, but speaking of Pablo, this is a good way to end it. Speaking of Pablo Escobar, so when I think of Pablo Escobar, maybe this is because Narcos is my favorite show, and I'm just really interested by all that stuff. I think of his mugshot and just how epic it is that he's sitting there smiling at the fucking camera like, I'm fucking Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
A new mugshot came out this week that might be a contender, though.
Yeah, and the way Trump posted it on Twitter, dude, that was kind of badass. Left or right,
It's pretty baller.
dude. That's like his Michael Jordan. I'm back. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
his Jordan. Okay, I'll quickly do this. We'll talk about this next week. Who knows? We have a really good episode next week. I'm engaging with a gilf, so stay tuned for that. Trump is so people are saying Trump is going to win the presidency and then pardon himself if he does get arrested or he does get found guilty. He got charged with an Atlanta RICO, and I think getting charged with a RICO in this case is just insane. The political or not, I think it's crazy. He can't, if he gets indicted on this and he goes to prison, he's not going to be able to pardon himself. So that's going to definitely be something to keep out for. But yeah, I got a hard stop. I got to go head out. I'm going to go get a massage right now, Jackson. It's not by a guy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
All right. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of the In the Bank podcast. Sorry, 40 minutes. It's not that short, but we had to cut it a little short. When you go to your zoo, please do not jump in the gorilla cage. Don't be weird. Get massages. Don't get a massage by a guy. And then follow our Instagrams. Yeah, follow our Instagrams. All that shit below. And then we'll see you. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you guys tune in for next week. Very fun special episode. Peace.